영등고속도로 가는 쪽으로는 서창부터
Halo semuanya, sobat-sobat Moviezy, selamat pagi, selamat siang, selamat sore, dan selamat malam untuk semua pendengar-pendengar kita. Terima kasih banyak karena ini akan jadi podcast pertama kita, podcast pertama Moviezy, dan kita di sini bakal fokus ngomongin soal sinema dengan berbagai bintang-bintang tamu yang akan hadir. Jadi di episode pertama ini, saya ditemani oleh salah satu anggota Moviezy, yaitu ada Syafril Agung. Halo Syafril. Ngomong dong. Halo, iya, Chaplin Agung. Dia ini salah satu reviewer terbaik kita. Oh, iya, mantap. Jadi hari ini kita akan berbicara dengan salah satu sutradara dari Korea Selatan. Namanya adalah Jae-il Park, and he now here with us. Hello, Jae-il.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good. So, how do I call you? I call you Jay, or
You
I
can call me Jay.
Oh, Jay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, or JL. But Jay, I guess Jay's fine. My friends call me Jay.
Your friend call me Jay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's good. So, how are you today?
Pretty good. Just same old, same old.
So, what do you do right now?
Me right now. I guess I'm I'm doing film festivals. Trying to wind that down. Because I'm working on a feature script, couple of pitches. So because of that, I've been busy with that. But film festivals, it's been really hectic for the past year. But now, I'm trying to reduce the amount of submissions that we do. So yeah. But Christmas was great. I met my sister, and we had a great meal. And yeah. So
what a great time to life, right? So JL just released his new short movies called Georgia, and it just been released on Indonesian but limited release. Like how long you released it on Indonesia?
First it was for 24 hours, but then we thought it wasn't enough because not many people are able to see it. So then we just left it alone so that people could watch it longer. And then I just couldn't take it down. So I just decided to leave it for 6 days. So I think it was like 5-6 days. It was
5-6 days. Okay.
Yeah.
But will you gonna release it again on Indonesia, or maybe later? Or maybe you have any plan, or maybe you want to release it on streaming service? Maybe?
Yeah, actually, that was one of the reasons we're stopping film festival submissions, because we wanted to just release it online. We thought it's more important for people to watch it right now. And even though we're not going to get more awards and the prestige, I think what's more important is the prestige is secondary. When a film finds an audience, I think that's the most beautiful thing. And I think it found an audience in Indonesia. Italians really liked it as well, but Koreans as well, and a lot of people in America. But I think the best reception we've ever had was in Indonesia, and that's probably the main reason we decided to just put it online. We're actually going to put like Japanese subtitles, Indonesian subtitles, Italian subtitles, because not that those are the subtitles we want to do. Indonesian, I have to pay for it. Indonesian, we have to pay for it. But the rest, it's we already had it at we already have those made by the festivals that we screened at. Like I think I'm gonna ask Sapporo to give me the Japanese subtitles, so that I could put it on the film. So yeah, okay. But yeah, we're gonna have Indonesian subtitles and probably gonna have the film probably in February,
Oh,
and just leave it online forever.
we need to wait for that, right? Or maybe 2022.
2022, yes,
Yeah.
February. Latest is March, early March.
Early March. Okay.
Earliest probably February.
Okay. Maybe 2 months or 3 months again, right? From December, yes.
Yeah, the reason is we have prior commitments to film festivals. So there's a couple film festivals in America, a couple in there's one in Indonesia, not in India, a couple in Korea. So if we put it online, because some of them are screening it online, if you put it online at the same time, I think that'd be a major faux pas. That'd be disrespectful to them. So I think January is off limits. So probably afterwards, we're not going to do any more film festivals. I guess the ones that allow us to put it online, those film festivals will submit to. But other than that, other than those, we're going to stop altogether.
Oh, that's pretty cool, right? They want to get an exclusive training, right? So what they do, they want their audience get an exclusive, right? So that's why they don't want you to release it online, like that, right? Okay. So Shafil, maybe you want to talk about Georgia because he said he really loved it.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
So what you talk
I
about?
like Georgia.
Uh-huh.
I think Georgia is one of the most important movie this year, I think, because the issue is very relevant. If you ever uh, read some news from Indonesia, you know that in Indonesia the sexual assault to woman is so much. And just last month there is some case that unsolved by the, the perpetrators, and yeah, for the couple of years it's always a big problem here in Indonesia. That's why I think the Indonesian audience love your movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason, I think, because the issue is very relevant to us.
And to be honest, when you release the Georgia short movie in Indonesia and some case about sexual harassment and also a suicide is happen in Indonesia when you release that. So everybody want to know your movies and they watch this movies like, oh my god, this happened in Indonesia right now. So that's why we really love Georgia so much because you do speak up about what happened in Indonesia, but in South Korean perspective. So that's why we really love it, and also South Korean is easier to. So that's why when we watch it, we so relate. Oh my god, this happened in Indonesia. I think every month we always have the same case, like what you do in the movie. So that's why we really love it. So my question is, how did you? Where did you get the story of this Georgia?
Okay. I guess the story of Georgia is based on, I guess, mainly based on the Mirang case that happened in 2004, which I'm sure a lot of your viewers or listeners are aware of. Now that this issue of sexual violence has become mainstream in Indonesia. But other than the main case of Mirang, it's also based on two other cases that happened afterwards. When the first case of the Mirang case happened, the nation of Korea was in an uproar. Everyone was angry. I was angry too, and we were, writing comments online, protesting. I think 150 people protested at one point. But what happened was, no justice. I think there was a Supreme Court case settlement about $50,000. I guess not $50,000. It's like Korean money. It's like about which I'm not on. So it's around $40,000. But that's pretty minuscule. That's like I mean, these days, I mean, that's not even 1 year of salary for most middle class families. So. But after that, no justice was done. A few kids went to juvenile detention, but I mean, they weren't tried as adults. But after that, there were two more cases, and what's embarrassing is that I didn't even know about the second case. The third case, I was watching the news, and all of a sudden, there's like the third Miran case occurred. So I was like, wait, so there was a second time? So I think. I always was ashamed about that. I was embarrassed. It's like, so not much legal reform, no justice was served. And all of a sudden, I'm watching television, it's like the third Miran case. And instinctively, I'm trying to turn off the television. And I'm just like, I can't listen to this. You know what I mean? And that's like double shame, So I'm like about to turn this off when I'm just like, I guess I have to watch it. But that's such an embarrassing thing because I mean, I remember like I had to eat dinner and it's like, there's that expression, like, not expression, but like that cliche where people can't worry about the rest of the world because you have to go eat your dinner and you have to go work the next day and things like that. But that was exactly what I was, doing. But well, I ended up watching the entire news, but I got to say also there's a famous film called Hangongju, and I can't watch that. I actually shut it off in the middle. So it's like, maybe that's like, that's really embarrassing. As a filmmaker, you should be able to watch really difficult films, but also as a patriot or as a law-abiding citizen and someone that a humanitarian, you should be interested in the plight of other people. So that stayed. And then years later, it was years later, actually, it wasn't right after the news, like, I'm going to write a script about this. No, it was years later. And I was talking to a producer one day and, we play this drinking game, which is drinking game where, the producer tells me three words and I have to come up with a story right there, like within 2 minutes. So we do that game all the time, and that's actually how my last two films were made. But in the case of Georgia, the three words she told me were banner, bicycle helmet, and tonkatsu. And somehow those three words, but it's not like I'm a genius or anything. It's more about what as writers you always keep these notes in your mind, these ideas and these stories in your mind, and that was just an opportunity to share it. So when those three things, she told me these three things, just all of a sudden a light bulb went up in my head, went on in my head on, that's the right preposition. Sorry, I don't know why it's a light bulb went up, it went on. Okay, all right, but anyway. So then I went outside, and thought about it for 2 minutes, came back in, and I told her the idea, and she was like, "Oh my God, we have to make this, so important." And basically, the story I told that night at a bar is basically the story that you see in Georgia, except it took me some time to finish the script. But that's how Georgia came about. Not because I was some type of patriot and all of a sudden I have to do this, but years later it just stuck with me, and I knew this is a story that I have to tell. And the producer agreed. In fact, we were trying to not make short films anymore. I had made shorts before, and we were trying to work on a feature, but then I had a short film idea, and then it's like, oh my God, we have to make it. So it was like one of those situations where we made it because the film needs to be made, not because it's gonna grant us anything, so yeah, that's how it came about.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I never expect that you got the idea from drinking games. I mean, like, oh wow. For me, to get an idea, I just need to not sleep in night, and then I just thinking about that, like, oh, I think I got an idea. But you got it from a drinking game and making it into a script. And how long you making it into a script?
Well, the first draft took about a week,
A week.
but the thing is, it's a first draft,
Yeah. Mhm.
But the thing is, before that, I mean, I called the actors, the main characters, the protagonists, like Liang and Nichegen, who play the father and mother. Even before I wrote the script, I told them, "Can you be in this film? I have no money. I'm not even sure if I'm going to get the money, but if you have to be in there for virtually free, would you do it? And then I'll write the script." And they said yes. And thankfully they said yes. And then I started writing it. I wrote the first draft, I sent it to them, and then we started developing all the characters and changing it after I wrote it down and put pen to paper in the first week. So that's how it came about.
Oh wow. So they just say yes without get any pay.
No, they did, because I mean, there's these laws in Korea, but they
Yeah.
got the bare minimum. They got the bare minimum.
Okay,
But-
I get it.
But it's like, if we don't pay them, that would penalize us, because that'd be illegal.
Yep.
But they got the bare minimum. I'll say this: they got paid maybe 10 times less than what they usually do. I mean, it's a short film. It's a short film. I mean, you can't. Yeah. On a side note, I'm kind of worried. I think like the internet connections. Maybe it's the internet connection. Is your internet connection okay, Frito?
Yep. Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Because I'm worried maybe like my voice might sound bad later when
It's
recording,
okay,
but
it's
it's fine, right?
That's fine,
Okay.
fine.
Fine,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. But anyway, like this podcast is for filmmaking, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't advise that. I don't advise film students to ever contact actors before they write the script, because that is the worst thing to do. So don't
Yeah.
ever do that.
Do that.
What you have to do is write an amazing script where it's not a first draft, maybe like a final draft, and you've got multiple revisions after getting feedback from people you trust.
Mhm.
And afterwards you show it to the actors, because you want the actors to be inspired to work on the project. Not only that, inspired to become the characters, not only as people that are professionals working on the film, but as the characters, so
Mm.
I think that's so important. But somehow I did everything the complete opposite way with this one. But I think we got lucky. But I probably wouldn't do this ever.
Oh.
But the characters, but this time, the actors, I was writing the parts for the actors.
Oh.
So, and I do that a lot. So I was writing the parts for the actors, so talking to them about the parts and developing it together. I think that was a huge strength, in how we developed the film.
Okay. Wow, that you have a long progress to making this movie, right? And you got a good, I mean, like a positive review from Indonesia and also from international audience. And how you react to that?
It's actually it's like the first time we won Busan, like we won Sanjay Award. I felt that. I was like, yes, like everyone's like, yeah, right. And then, our second goal was to be nominated for a Blue Dragon Award, which is a Korean Oscar. So it's like the Oscars in Korea, and we were nominated. It was like, yeah, And then the third goal was to go to Atlanta, Georgia. The city of Atlanta in Georgia. It's like one of the biggest film festivals in America, and the biggest one in Georgia. But the whole dream I had, the entire dream, was for me to go to Atlanta, Georgia, and screen Georgia for Georgians there, because that it would be such a special experience for them, and it was because from their point of view, there's this character Gina trying to come to Georgia Design School, thinking that she can get the American dream here. but I'm sure because this was during like the Trump administration, so I'm sure like a lot of Georgians were thinking, nah, like it's not that great over here, you know. So it's more tragic, you know. And they're looking at this story, these Koreans talking about Georgia, and they're looking at it from the promised land, you know.
Ah, yes.
It was such a unique screening. I thought it would be, and then we didn't win. I think we came in second or third for the top prize, but the top prize was won by an amazing film called The Dress, which was about a person with dwarfism, a little person trying to find love. Amazing film. It made the Oscar shortlist this time, and it was so well deserved. But that's another story. But in Atlanta, we got an honorable mention from the jury. But more importantly, we won the audience award. So Georgian audiences, this film resonated with them, and that was, you know, after that, and then after that, we started winning awards. I couldn't feel it. Like after the 10th award, you don't believe it. It doesn't. You can't even feel it. Like you're just like right now we're at our 38th award, and the 38. Like I mean, that's like an unfathomable number. It's like I can't even like I don't. You know, it's like so many awards and 38 awards.
38.
You can't feel it. Like none of our current cast feel it. We don't know how to feel happy. Like after I think happiness has has a peak. Our peak was like at about like maybe 9 or 10 awards. After that, it's just like the same thing. It's not like your happiness is like we're happiness was at 10, now it's at 38. No, it's not like that. It's like so we don't even like feel it anymore. Like we're just like amazed and humbled. I think that, you know, like when people say, oh, they're so humbled, and I thought that's such a cop-out answer, but now I understand. Like it's so humbling. Like I just feel like I feel humbled, and I'm just, you know, when the awards come, I'm just like, oh, I'm just thankful, really thankful. Because like usually when you win an award, yes, yeah, I deserve this. You know, like you're like, yeah, I told you guys, yes, I proved to myself. But now it's not that. It's like I'm really thankful to the Film Festival. I'm really thankful to the jury, and that's how I think. You know, ironically, by getting so much, you learn humility, and I think that's really ironic, you know. And like the actors know, the crew knows about Indonesia, and no one can even comprehend it. Like, I mean, yeah, Lee Chae-kyung, like she keeps getting followers from Indonesia, like on Instagram, and she's just like, oh my God, you know. So I think it's yeah, it's like pretty incredible is the word, I guess. Incredulous or incredible. It's like you can't really. It's hard to even like comprehend it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe Shafil, you want to ask to Mr. J, maybe?
Yeah, Shafril, come on, participate in this talk here. You know,
we always give me
you look so sad in the corner.
Time to talk, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Like, you know, sitting in front of the Aurora Borealis, like, you know, I like the mood of your backdrop, you know. You look so ominous.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, I like it too. Other one song. What do you hope for the Georgia movie? Do you have any hope for the audience to take something from it or something like that?
Yeah, I guess that's funny. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know why I laugh, because it just feels like such a disinterested question. No, okay, sorry. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. I guess I would like them to. You know, I think. You know, as an artist, I'm really happy, especially when, you know, Tepi and Helena, they were the two that were doing these Twitter threads of finding all the hidden meanings and details of the film. That was so much happiness for me. I was overjoyed by that, because it just showed how like that filmmakers appreciated how much detail and how much hard work the crew and I put into the film, you know. even the actors, like the details, like the amount of research all the actors did, even the small parts, So those, in that regard, as an artist, I think I really enjoy it when audiences appreciate the art and the details, but I guess as a just a human being, and I guess in a way a social activist, I would like people to know more about this case and always remember it, so that when something like this happens again, they'll be ready to become the hero. Because I said this in another Q&A, I made the film because I'm a coward, because it's like filmmaking in a way. I feel like a filmmaker is sort of like a coward, and I'm not talking about there's heroes out there. They're spreading the truth when no one's willing to listen to the truth. There's like these Iranian filmmakers, and there's even filmmakers from way back spreading the truth, documentarians particularly. And they're risking their lives to document something, or risking their lives, risking their careers to make films that are against an authoritarian regime. So but there are heroes among filmmakers, and I think most of them existed back then. But my film, I think I've said it a lot. It's like I'm preaching to the choir. I'm not really saying something that's provocative. Everyone agrees. It's more of a reminder. It's almost like I'm reminding audiences to become heroes themselves, because I don't know how to change this. So what I can do is, I guess I have some talent in storytelling. So with my storytelling ability, I can remind audiences, hey, the world kind of sucks right now, or the world's pretty, and I've seen this. I'm just like reminding them. And maybe someone watches a film and they're reminded, and that person's going to be hero, become the next amazing political activist that's going to change things, or social activist, or amazing lawyer, or even an amazing filmmaker who maybe will make an even more amazing film, a feature film that's like really provocative and challenges the government, pushes them for legal reform. So for me, like, Georgia's sort of like a reminder, more than a heroic act of political activism.
Okay, maybe I have a question about, not about Georgia, but about filmmaking. So, what come on your mind when we talk about movies? What's your opinion about filmmaking?
Like filmmaking in general?
Yeah, like, what comes on your mind when we talk about filmmaking? Why you really love making a film?
Well, there's a cliche answer that I agree with it. The cliche answer is,
Yep.
I think the filmmaking is the complete medium, meaning that you can put writing, acting, dance, music, sound. It's so much is possible in the medium of film, and yet I feel like, ironically, it's probably one of the weakest mediums of art, because it's only 100 years old. It's only been over like a little bit over 100 years old. So, but music has existed for thousands of years. Painting, drawing, art. So I think in that regard, I think music, filmmaking is a little, it's still in the nascent stages as a medium of art, but the possibilities, I think, are astounding, are so vast, because you can combine all of the other mediums that have existed for thousands of years. So that's my take on filmmaking. Why I wanted to filmmaking is because of the possibilities. But at the same time, I think filmmaking, there's the art of editing, there's the cinematography, art direction, and all sorts of different technical aspects. There's a technical aspect of filmmaking that I think needs respect. And these days, I don't know, it's sort of a tangent, but these days I think the technical aspect of filmmaking is a lot undervalued, and so I think even when you tell a compelling story, a relevant story, you want to make it well. And I think a lot of students these days that I see around me, especially in Korea, you know, back when I was in college, I mean, we knew how to shoot we knew how to shoot. We knew how to shoot with a camera. We knew how to change mags with film. We knew even shooting with digital. We knew how to edit. We knew how to do basic sound design. But for some reason these days, that's lacking a lot, I think, especially in Korea. And I think the technical aspects of filmmaking are as important as the art. You know, as your voice is important, and the art you're gonna spread to the world, that's obviously important. But the technical aspect, the artistry of just filmmaking itself, I think that's important as well.
Okay. April, maybe you want to ask about filmmaking because he really want to ask about filmmaking to you. So, Chapter,
When I talk to someone, either filmmaker or film lover, movie lover or something, I always want to know what movie that influenced their life, and the movie that they always love and they love the most, something like that.
Okay. Well, I think well, I said a bunch of films before. I guess I'm not gonna. I guess just mention some new films. I guess films that have influenced me are like My Life to Live, Bersama, Jean-Luc Godard. One of the amazing directors of the French New Wave. So I'll say Bersama, My Life to Live. I'm just trying to impress you with my French. But other than that, I guess there's Barry Lyndon by Stanley Kubrick. I think it's one of the
I
most
love that too.
astounding. Yeah, that film is amazing. The brutal narration, but you see that film. I feel like that's the type of films that I love, like where the story and the emotion are so compelling, yet the filmmaking is so like, in a way, like people talk about Stanley Kubrick being so robotic.
Yeah.
But I think he's just a badass filmmaker. He just knows what he's doing. So I guess Barry Lyndon. What's another film that I like? Because I named 5 before. I'm gonna name another 5 that I didn't name before. Another film that I really love is City Lights by Charlie Chaplin. I think that's one of the most perfect. I think that is the quintessential romantic comedy. If you watch that film, it's like that film's better than every other romantic comedy that came out in the last 10 years, I feel like. You know what I mean? Like you watch that, like you laugh, you feel empathy, sympathy. I even cried while watching that the first time. So there's that. And since we're back in the 1920s, maybe let's see, 1930s. So I'll name one more director that doesn't get enough recognition among film students. Ernst Lubitsch, who's the father, actually, of romantic comedy. He is the father. Ernst Lubitsch, Trouble in Paradise. I mean, you watch that film, it's like the Steven Soderbergh, like Out of Sight, those cool like gangster or like those cool romantic comedy films. It's all based on Ernst Lubitsch. Ernst Lubitsch was so cool. Like, so, yeah, Trouble in Paradise, check it out. Yeah, Trouble in Paradise. Yeah, but I mean, he has so many good films. But just the charm, it's so charming, his films. I mean, so Trouble in Paradise, City Lights, and then I named My Life to Live, Barry Lyndon. So I guess those are, so I should name something a little bit more modern. I guess, The Red Violin. The Red Violin, it's from 1996, I think. And it has Samuel L. Jackson in it playing a role that he doesn't, cuss. So and he's amazing. I mean, his performance is so amazing in that. It's like a film that not many people have seen, but it's like it teaches you what the power of a soundtrack. It's the music itself is a character in the film. And I think that's a film for a lot of because like a lot of film students these days, they love putting music in their films. It like overshadows the bad filmmaking because but that film is so, the visual spectacle is there. It's visually so beautiful, but at the same time, the music is just right there, and the music doesn't overwhelm the image. It's one with the image, and that's why it won an Academy Award for
Oh,
best music. You know,
honestly,
it's
I just
made
know
by a
the red violin.
French, I think it's a
Okay.
Canadian director.
Maybe I need
Yeah,
to
but
watch
that film, it's go ahead.
maybe I want to watch the red violin. I just Google it on internet. I think I'm interested to watch it.
Yeah, maybe we should have done like, you know, best production design film, best like cinematography film, like best, you know, maybe we should have done something like that. But I
So,
mean, I guess best music film would definitely be Red Violin.
mm,
Maybe best cinematography would be Barry Lyndon. Probably, definitely up there. I mean,
okay.
he used a NASA lens. He used a NASA lens that he borrowed from NASA.
Yeah, I read the fact about it, and it's just it's amazing.
Yeah.
You're using NASA lens.
Because he
That's
all of the film and
extraordinary.
it was practical lighting, all candles. I mean, like what an amazing, I mean, just his life is a film. Like the fact that he would go that far, you know. And there's the thing, he was making an adapter to be able to use that particular lens from NASA. And then the cinematographer contacted one of the experts, and the expert said it's impossible, blah, 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 if you do it this way. And then all of a sudden, like he gets a note from Stanley Kubrick. Stanley Kubrick's like saying, "Isn't if we do X, Y, and Z to this, wouldn't this work?" And then the expert is like, "Oh my God, one of these assholes, one of these asshole directors."
Oh my
And
God.
obviously, because he meant it in a bad way, a good way as well, saying that one of those like anal, very obsessed genius directors, you know. And it was true. Like what Stanley Kubrick said was true, and that's what they did. And the crazy thing about Stanley Kubrick was, you know, he had his own viewfinder. You know, he had his own kit that he made for himself that he would never even lend out to his friends. So he for his own sake, he like modified existing viewfinders and light meters so that he could, every time he directed a film. So that's how detailed he was, you know. And I think as a film director, as a director, not so much as an artist, but as a film director, as a technical director, I look up to Stanley Kubrick the most because he was the most technically sound director of all time, probably.
Of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when it comes
Kubrick
to,
is-
well, go ahead. Sorry.
yes. I think Stanley Kubrick is the most technical director
Yeah.
ever lived.
Yeah. And then I think my favorite acting director, the director that works with actors the best, on the other side of the spectrum is John Cassavetes. Sorry, I think there's an announcement. Let me just.
I love it.
Sorry, you could just like edit this out. I hate it when they can just announce it like that. Like, why do they get to announce stuff? Like, this is kind of authoritarian, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you
Like,
can
send us
knock it
an
off
email.
down or something.
Oh my God, it's a secondly. It's like first, secondly, please don't, you know, please use a trash bag when you throw up. I mean, come on, like we just,
With cow or what? We know about that, right?
Yeah, maybe for the audience, like a mime show. Like, oh my God.
That's so long.
Can you hear me?
Yes, of course, of course.
Maybe I could just talk over it.
No, it's okay, man.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's good.
Yeah, but John Cassavetes, well, John Cassavetes hated technology, but John Cassavetes was the opposite. Oh my gosh, she's on fourth. Fourth.
They have. Is this the fourth one?
Anyway, John Cassavetes, a film I would add here. I can't like rank John Cassavetes films because I think it was one of the Indonesian review sites that I follow on Instagram had ranked John Cassavetes films, and I think you can't rank them because all of them are just amazing. But John Cassavetes, he worked with actors so closely, and the performances he got were just amazing. The thing is, when he was shooting a film called Faces, what happened was the cinematographer was shooting the film in such a beautiful way, like taking long shots and like beautiful angles and things like that. And then he fired him.
What?
He fired him.
Why?
He fired the cinematographer,
Why?
and then had one of the actors become the cinematographer. So when you see the film, some of the shots are off focus.
Huh?
Some of the shots are off focus, and the angles are too tight sometimes. The thing is, John Cassavetes fired the cinematographer because he was making too many beautiful shots. All he wanted him to do was put the camera up against their faces. I mean, the film was called Faces. I mean, he said, John Cassavetes thought that the most important prop, the most important thing are the human beings on film. So if you record them, that's enough. And when you watch Faces, it's one of my favorite films of all time. I mean, it's amazing. And yeah, check it out. The funny story is he already made a film called Shadows, which did really well. And then he got a picture deal from Hollywood. So he was going there and he's pitching them ideas, and everyone was saying like no, right? So he got tired. So what he did was he started shooting films on the side secretly. So what he did was there was a secretary in his office in the studio in Hollywood, and he went to the secretary. He's like, "Secretary, do you want to be in my film?" And the secretary's like, "I've never acted in a film before." It's like anyone could be an actor. So he casts the secretary as the main actor.
Oh, he did that.
Yeah, and then he hires another Hollywood actor that's famous. Then he hires his friends. And then what unfolds is one of the greatest acting performances by a female actor ever, by the secretary.
Oh my God.
And the funny thing was his wife, Jenna Rollins, a legend, she was in it, and so was the secretary, but they were both pregnant, so they had to like wear clothing to cover their belly. But the crazy thing was that was the only film she was ever in, the secretary, and she won all these acting awards at the prestigious film festivals. Like I remember, I think she even won at New York Film Festival, like Best Actress. And afterwards, she went back and she lived as a housewife. And that's John Cassavetes, because John Cassavetes sees the acting potential in every person. Like he loved human beings. And the crazy thing was he had an amazing actor friend, Seymour Cassell, a legend in America, one of the greatest actors of all time, Seymour Cassell. And he was in the shot. He was in the first scene, and Seymour Cassell, he'd say the first line, and John Cassavetes would say, "Cut." Oh my God.
It's okay. It's okay. It's not.
Yes, we forgot to tell you. But anyway, okay, so Seymour Cassell, he was in the first shot and he was supposed to say a simple line. And then John Cassavetes says, "Cut." And he goes up to him and says, "Stop acting." Like he's like, stop acting. So like, what? Like, I mean, I don't know if he said it in those words, but essentially the essence of what he was telling him was stop acting. So he rolled the camera again, and he did the same thing, and he said, cut. Do it again. Cut, cut, cut. And finally, you know what he did was?
What?
He said, all right, we're not shooting today. So this is like the first shot of the first shot of the film, first day, first shot, and he just cancels it, saying that the actor's not ready. Imagine this: 1 day of shooting costs you, like, even for independent cinema, it costs you, tens of thousands of dollars, and he canceled it because that's how much the actor's true, the authenticity of the acting was that important to him. So Seymour Cassell, like, he gets, like, falls into deep depression. He goes home and he's like, he doesn't know what to do. He's like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So he returns the next day, right? And then it's the same shot. So it's the same line. He's like, I don't care. He's just gonna say the line. He's not gonna act, he's not gonna do anything. He's just gonna say the line. So he just action, and he just says the line. And then John Cassavetes goes, cut. All right, let's move on.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because John Cassavetes, he didn't want actors to act.
Oh.
They know they're acting well, and they'll do the mannerisms, but in the film. So when you see his films, it's interesting. His films, people think a lot of it is improvised.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you can't tell what's improvised and what's in the script because of how amazing the performances are. But I mean, yeah. But if you see his films are, I'll see like a Academy Award winning film, and then I'll see a John Cassavetes film. And when I see a John Cassavetes film, I feel like, oh, finally, I'm watching an adult film, like a film for adults. And the Academy Award films, these classics, they seem like children's films to me, because there's like this guy's that finally making a true film. But yeah, John Cassavetes, I mean, come on, man. So to me, my two biggest influences, biggest like role models are like Stanley Kubrick on the technical side, and John Cassavetes on the true art acting side. Because I believe, to me, I'm the same way. The most important thing is always the actors, and the technical side second. So yeah.
I agree on that.
But yeah, so check out some John Cassavetes film. Watch Faces, watch Opening Night, and of course the famous A Woman Under the Influence. That's another famous one. You see the acting in it; it just feels like real people.
I wonder what
It doesn't even feel like
under the
it's a film.
influence. The woman under the influence is just great.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
The acting is one of the most perfect
yeah.
acting performance by an actress.
Actually, I think perfect is the wrong word, because it's perfectly imperfect, I think. Because you see Hollywood films, they're so perfect, like they have this line at a certain point, and they cry on a certain point. But Woman Under Influence, you see that woman walk around in the room, she's just like this, she's like, she's doing these mannerisms. It's like, what does that mean? But it's so real. It's like so there's John Cassavetes acting, which I feel like is the highest form of acting, and then there's everybody else, I think. And I think there's some people, some directors. I remember at a certain point, I really loved the Duplass brothers. They were like having that, like, they were mumblecore directors, and they had that sort of naturalistic style of acting, and they were pushing the actors really far. So I saw this one short film called The Intervention, which was amazing. The puffy chair was amazing. But but I mean, you get close to John Cassavetes, you can never be John Cassavetes.
You cannot beat him. I might want to see this movie of the Fist. I might interested, because after listening the story, I might not believe on that, but I don't know, man. Maybe I will try. I will try one of his movies. Okay. So
Buy it. It's great. It's gonna change your life. it changed my life.
Okay. I have one question. Have you ever watched Indonesian movies?
No, that's the sad part. Like, I mean, this is so embarrassing. I mean, I was hoping this question would never come out, but the thing is, I'm trying to watch Uni because
Uni, yeah. Oh my God.
that's I'm waiting for it to come out on Netflix in Korea.
Yeah.
But other
Yeah.
than that, like,
Uni.
I ordered a couple of films from Indonesia, so
Okay.
you know, so I'm gonna watch a whole bunch of them. But the thing is, the reason why I'm saying I haven't watched an Indonesian film,
Mhm.
I definitely have watched Indonesian films. I probably watched dozens of them. The problem is that you know, and I'm getting older now. I've watched so many films that some countries are like even like I forget. You know what I mean? Like I remember I watched like films from like I remember I think I even watched like Latvian films or like even like films from you know, Cyprus, but I just can't remember them because I think that's the reason why I stopped watching films lately, is because I think at a certain point, like I think I got all filmed out. You know, like there's too many films.
No film you
And,
watch, more
you
you
know,
forget about that, huh?
yeah, just like too many masterpieces, too many
Yeah.
classics, and
Yeah.
when I started watching Indian films, I was like, oh my God, there's so many Indian
Yeah.
films that are like, and then so yeah, like I stopped watching films for a long time. You know, I'd say like maybe I watch maybe at most like 5 to 10 films a month, and that's really low for a filmmaker, you know. So I think like I'm trying to sort of like be like Buddha, trying to like cleanse my palate a little bit, because I've, you know, been watching so much stuff. But I feel like the films that I've watched during college, you know, are still the most powerful, the biggest influences. And yeah, like the new films that come out, man, like I don't really like it, like the new stuff. You know, it's a podcast, so I could be honest, but I just I don't like the new stuff, and like the stuff that everyone's so excited about. I'm excited to. I'm like, yeah, and I'll watch it. I'm just like, you know,
No.
because there's so many good films from the past. You know, like I don't think there'll ever be a day that I watch something like Cinema Paradiso again. There's not going to be a day where I watch 2001 Space Odyssey again and feel like that. There's not going to be a day where I watch Jurassic Park, Steven Spielberg, Jurassic Park, and oh my God, you know, there's not going to be that anymore, you know, and it's sad, you know, those films are gone, you know. So I'm waiting for that kind of director, that the Kubrick, the Spielbergs, the you know, and like the soundtracks, like Ennio Morricone music, you know, that those music that just like na 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 na, just like inspired, compositions for films. Not everything like Hans Zimmer and like bong, you know, like, you know what I mean? Not that Hans Zimmer is not talented. I think he's like a genius, one of the most talented composers of all time. But I'm sick and tired of these films, you know. And by the way, Villeneuve is an amazing director. I haven't watched Dune yet, but everyone says watch Dune, but I'm just like, I think I know what it is, you know. I wanted to go to the theater and have the experience. I miss the days where you went to a theater not for pleasure, not for some type of like fill, like as a fast food, not like a fast food restaurant, but something like where you went there for an experience.
Yeah.
And I remember you know, watching this documentary series on Netflix about this one filmmaker. When she was young, she went to Jaws, see Jaws for the first time, and changed her life. And she saw Jaws like hundreds of times and dozens of times at the theater. Like you'll never have that anymore. Like Star Wars, or you know, yeah. So yeah, I think yeah, I miss the films that just excites you, you know. And Marvel did that for a little bit. Marvel films did that for quite a while, because to see your old heroes become live action heroes, you know, comic book heroes become live action, there's, you know, great pleasure in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like the film industry is pretty pretty lacking in the diversity of content and the amount of creative voices. And I think that's another reason why, amid the COVID pandemic, why the film industry is taking a big hit.
Mm. Mm. Okay. For the last question before we close the podcast, do you have any advice to our young directors? Because this year in Indonesia and also next year, there's a lot of young directors that gonna make their first feature film in Indonesia. Maybe you have any advice from there for them? Maybe.
Film students?
Yeah. Yes, maybe a film student and
Okay,
also yes, film student. Most of them is
Yeah.
still film student.
I'm going to be honest. If it's film students, I'm going to be really brutally honest, because I needed to hear this when I was younger. Because when I went to NYU, everyone thought they were hot shit. Like everyone thought they were the next Kubrick, Steven Spielberg, and they had such a high self-esteem. Like they had such high expectations for themselves. But the truth is, and this is the truth to film students in Indonesia, most of you right now, I'm not going to say forever, but right now at your stage, and I was the same way, at your stage in film school, most of you, probably 99% of you, suck at filmmaking. And this is the truth. Most of you are terrible and don't even know it yet. It's because of lack of experience and so much expectation and so much ambition that you're at the stage where you don't know who you are yet. So your writing is always going to be bad because you're finding a voice, you're finding yourself. My writing was terrible in college. My writing was terrible after college as well. But no one's going to tell you that because because you have to be hopeful. But I'm being realistic. There will be 1% of you who are very talented and know where you're going, and you're just God-given talent, probably, right?
Yep.
And even those guys or girls or whatever gender, even those people are good now, but we don't know what's going to happen later. Those few people who end up winning big awards at Cannes or wherever, those film students are rare, but they're still honing their voice. So one thing you need to know is why I say this is because be very humble, and in the time that you toil over what film to make, study film. I'm not talking about books. Learn how cinematography works, how editing works. Read Walter Murch's In the Blink of an Eye, and try it out. Like, become a better filmmaker technically. Before you become John Cassavetes, this amazing true artist, be like Stanley Kubrick and know everything about filmmaking. There's always something new to learn. So master cinematography, master acting. Go to learn acting so that you can direct actors better. Learn editing. How editing works. And I'm not talking about just take a tour of it. I'm talking about just really get into it. That's why you're in film school, right? Not to just go out and smoke cigarettes and get drunk and party and act like you're filmmakers. But that's the true way of being humble. You respect filmmaking, then you're gonna go out and try to learn it. And if you don't, it's so easy. Like if you don't have a camera, go on sets. If you ask somebody to be a production assistant, they're gonna take you, especially for short films. Go there and learn. Editing, someone's editing a film, say that, can I assist you? Even a film, even a shitty even a shitty editor, like go and see what software they're using. So I'm saying master the technical aspects, because right now everyone thinks that they're born Steven Spielberg. They're the next Stanley Kubrick. You're the next David Fincher. You're the next Christopher Nolan. But you're not there yet. So I'm saying to get there, master the grades, master technology, master the technical expertise. And afterwards, like after you've mastered even screenwriting, every aspect of it. And after that, you are allowed to throw everything you learned aside and and be whatever you want. But you'll never become an original artist if you don't know what's been out there before you. So it's like what Ray Carney says, this essayist, this film scholar who's obsessed with John Cassavetes in many ways, in an unhealthy way. He says, master all the greats and afterwards create something new. But if you don't master all the greats, you'll never know what you're not using. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So master all of the technology, master it. So screenwriting and things like that. And also, there's a saying, it takes you 10 years to master something.
Oh my God, that takes so long, man.
And it's funny because I think the first time my script didn't suck was 10 years after I went to film school.
Okay.
Like my first script that wasn't bad was when I was 28.
20.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, at NYU, I did win screenwriting competitions, and I did get into good film festivals with my short film. But even then, I'm saying I wasn't. I think I was a pretty bad filmmaker. Like even now, I have so much to learn, and I don't think I'm, in the same league as a lot of the directors I respect. So I'm saying, put your ego aside and just be a student of film. I mean, that's your job right now, film student. So learn everything about it. And then afterwards, do it up and become who you're going to be, who you're destined to be.
Oh.
That's my advice.
Oh, that's good. So film student in Indonesia, you heard what Jay said. So I hope you got something from what Jay said to us right now. So yeah, I hope you guys making a good movie next year. Okay, maybe that is enough. Chaplin, enough?
No, it's okay for me.
Oh,
It's
okay.
enough.
Okay.
Shepard is so funny.
Okay.
He's like he's like the guy with I don't know. Tom Green's like another generation. There was like a show where the guy would not talk and he would just be drinking coffee in a corner. Like you're Conan O'Brien and he's I forget his name. Oh my God. I mean, I'm a big fan of the show and I forgot the name. But anyway, there's the guy that just sits there and just waits to comment once in a while. Yeah. And ironically, he has the best mic. Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's enough for today. Thank you for Mr. J for joining us. I think 1 hour maybe. I think we talked in 1 hour, right?
I think about an hour and an hour and change. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. So maybe I will close the podcast right now. So thank you so much, Mr. J, for joining us. I hope for you for the best. I hope your future movie will be launched next year, maybe. And also, I hope we can watch Georgia as fast as we can.
All right. Thank you so much.
We want to watch it again, man. I want to rewatch it again for the first
Yeah.
time.
With Indonesian subtitles this time.
That's good. Oke, buat konco-konco Moviezy semuanya yang sudah mendengarkan sampai habis, terima kasih banyak dan kita akhiri saja. Selamat pagi, selamat siang, selamat sore, dan selamat malam, and thank you.